Chicago Cubs. The first game, Paul Maholm over for the Pittsburgh Pirates did the same thing to the Phillies in a Cubs uniform that he used to do in a Pirates uniform. One ground ball out after another, and he handcuffed the Phillies and went away with the victory. Then the next night, the Phil's offense came to life. Jimmy Rollins really struggling, back in the leadoff spot, got this bloop to kick up some chalk. He drove in two, and the Phillies then rode a home run by Carlos Ruiz. It was a long one, and that topped off the scoring, and the Phils walked away with a victory in game number 2 of this 4-game series. Then yesterday, you want to talk about a guy that was dealing. Matt Garza was absolutely dealing. It didn't matter what he threw. Fastball, curveball, changeup. He had the Phillies off balance. He reached double digits in strikeouts for the 10th time in his career. And the Cubs had taken game 3, and now the finale of this 4-game series as the Phillies look to even up this 4-game set with their second victory against the Cubs. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Well, the Phils' offensive woes continue, and we'll talk about that as the night moves on. And the hope is that a new lineup for Charlie Manuel will get some runs. But one of the positives for the Phils this year has been their starting pitching, and it really has been the sophomore year of Vance Worley.
Yeah, and the sophomore year for a pitcher, especially, Tom, is one of those what's going to happen type situations. You never know. It's tough for a pitcher because they start to catch up to you a little bit. Vance Worley, how about this game last year? Remember the problem that Roy Halladay had in the heat? Well, Vance Worley went out there. It had to be 100 degrees that day. The humidity was unbelievable. You thought, well, maybe he can give you 5 innings. This guy went 8 powerful innings in that game and just pitched a gem as the Phillies won the final game of the series at Wrigley Field in that incredible heat wave that Chicago was going through. That showed everybody a lot about Vance Worley. He's pitched well for the Phillies overall, especially here in this ballpark. Look what he's done with a 7-3 record in 14 starts. Those numbers, they are all really good.
Well, and tonight he'll have Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. We always talk about the switch between Brian Schneider and Carlos Ruiz. Well, this is the 9th ball game for Ruiz catching Vance Worley in the last couple of years, and Worley's earned run average is 2.00. So it is the finale of this 4-game homestand. For the Phils and the Cubs, it'll be Vance Worley for the Phils. Chris Volstead does not have good numbers at all against the Phillies. He'll go for the Chicago Cubs. Well, one guy that's really turned some heads in this series is Tony Campana. He'll start for the 3rd time in the 4 ball games. 5 hits, 2 steals. He has been a nudge for the Cubs. Lineups and first pitch when we get back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. And then hit the road for a week. Then they're home for a while, and I think they're all looking forward to that. But right now they're looking forward to the opportunity to split the series with Dale Swabe's Cubs. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in right field, David DeJesus. Tony Campana will bat second. Starlin Castro third. Then Brian LaHare, the cleanup batter. Alfonso Soriano's back in there in left field. Ian Stewart will hit sixth. Blake DeWitt makes his first start at second base. Then Soto and Volstad. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Vance Worley. And Worley is ready to go. We'll take a look at his numbers. 2-1 with a 2.16 earned run average. And he's been really good for the Phillies. David DeJesus is digging in. Worley has his signs. And the first pitch of the night. And it's taken just outside. Ball one, so we're underway. Here you see the scouting report on Vance Worley.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job using all his pitches this year. Some games he'll get his pitch count up a little bit because he'll get a little bit wild and foul out of balls off. So he's really only been able to go 6 innings in some games, even though he's had really good stuff.
Now he's just missed on the first 2 pitches to the outside corner. The home plate umpire Dale Scott sets up inside for the lefties and the righties. There's David DeJesus' numbers: 254, 2 for 10 in the series so far. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
I was wondering about umpires. You know, a lot of times you wonder why they just don't, they don't use the catcher more for protection. Most of them do. As you see, a new guy here tonight, Angel Campos, is at second, but he does set up inside the way some of them do.
Very few set up right over the top anymore. They used to do with that balloon chest protector.
Yeah, I don't even mean right over. I know what you're saying. Right over the top, it's hard for him to see that way, but just slide in a little bit more and use a catcher for a little more protection. Yeah, that's why the American League used to be a high ball league. See, he moves even further. Look how, let's see how much he moves in there, and then Chooch is sliding over too.
And then you lose the entire outside part of the plate.
Yeah. Well, he's following the catcher. See, that's what they do.
In the air to right field. Hunter Pence going back. It's over his head and it's off the wall. Pence got to it quickly. DeJesus is trying for second. The throw, he is out at second base. What a throw by Hunter Pence. And DeJesus taking a chance here in the first, and Pence gunned him down.
He got a good carom off the concrete base out there by the scoreboard, and then I think he hesitated just a little bit, did DeJesus. Hits this ball right on the nose. It goes over Hunter Pence's head. Watch it come. Oh, it hit right off the base of the scoreboard. And Hunter has a very strong, accurate arm. It doesn't look pretty when he throws it, but he gets him there. Now, it just looked like he hesitated a little bit coming between first and second. It cost him.
Well, Tony Campana is now the batter. Campana has had himself a very good series. By the way, that assist for Hunter Pence, it's his 52nd in his last 4 years, which ties him for the major league lead in outfield assists.
Yeah, he came close to one yesterday.
2-0 the count. Looked like DeJesus may have gotten his hands in before the tag. Throw did beat him. It was a little high, and Rollins got it down as quickly as he could. Well, Dale Scott just isn't given the outside part of the plate. Now, some of these might be an inch or two off.
Yeah, but he's not going to call it from where he's positioned. But I don't think they're strikes. But your point well taken that sometimes they'll give him a little bit off the corner.
And there's a strike. Good frame by Ruiz. 3-1.
A lot of times what umpires do behind home plate is they follow the catcher. They'll shift with him and for protection.
3 balls, 1 strike to count.
Like that.
Strike 2. See Worley's pitch at 89 miles an hour. That's his fastball. His average fastball is just under 91 miles an hour. Now he does have some that are 92, some are 90, some are 89 there.
And you want to throw this one right down the middle and make this guy hit his way on it. Don't walk him.
3-2 pitch. In the air to left center field. Victorino was playing that way, so this is going to be an easy play for the second out.
The reason I'm saying that is you didn't want to necessarily throw that comeback sinker there to him. He might take it and walk, and you don't want that guy on first base. Time now for the Nissan keys to tonight's ball game. Well, the guy who's pitching tonight for these guys is Chris Volstad, and Phillies ought to try and pretend he's in a Florida-Miami uniform. And where's Ryan Howard when you need him? Those are his numbers. off Volstad. Unbelievable.
Really. I mean, Volstad's given up, what is it, 18 home runs against the Phillies. And Ryan Howard has 8 of those home runs.
We've seen Volstad a lot.
There's Starlin Castro who takes a strike. Castro, 4 runs batted in the series and 3 stolen bases. His average at .326, which is 9th best in the National League. And he takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Juan Pierre and John Mayberry, both who have the evening off, at least to start. Brian Schneider, who usually is the guy behind the plate when Vance Worley pitches. Brian caught yesterday, though. Brian has caught a majority of Vance Worley's starts. This is the 9th start for Carlos Ruiz behind the plate when Worley's on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he got him right on the outside part of the plate. I love when Ruiz or any catcher knows it before the hitter does. A strikeout looking. That's not a surprise. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 really good throw from Hunter Pence. We go to the bottom of the 1st here at Citizens Bank Park. Again, and let's take a look at his lineup. It's a little different tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Jimmy Rollins leads it off. He'll be followed by Placido Polanco and Shane Victorino. Then Hunter Pence, Ty Wigginton, and Lance Nix. And the bottom third of Ruiz, Orr, and Vance Worley. And they'll face 25-year-old right-hander. It seems like he's been around forever, but he's just 25. Chris Volstad, who's 0-3. With a 6.14 earned run average.
He was the #1 pick of the then Florida Marlins out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, which is north of the Miami area, and that's what he's done so far. They traded him for Zambrano. The Marlins basically gave up on Volstad, trying to take a chance on Zambrano instead. The Phillies over the years have really had good luck with him. There you see 2-5 with a 5.88 earned run average. When he first came up, he throws downhill, big tall right-hander. He first came up, he pitched pretty well against him.
There's Jimmy Rollins, who's trying to butt his way on. Volstad dives, no play. It's a bunt single. A little element of surprise right there for Rollins.
And Volstad is so tall that it looked like he may be able to dive and grab that thing and flip it over to first, but then he couldn't control it. Good job by Jimmy. He's going to try and drag it. He tried to get a little bit further away from Volstad, but he just couldn't transfer it in time. Here he goes, big, tall right-hander. He's got it, and then it pops out of his glove as he's
pretty good
trying to
effort.
transfer. Very great effort.
So a runner at first. This is the way the game started yesterday for the Phillies in the bottom of the 1st inning, but they're unable to capitalize. Placido Polanco, who had yesterday off, 239 hitter, no homers and 2 runs batted in. He's 2 for 8 in the series. Rollins being held on. First pitch inside, 1-0. Now Giovanni Soto is catching tonight. He's been battling some back spasms the last couple of days. So Wellington Castillo has done the catching. He's got a pretty good arm. Charlie Manuel was saying today that he'd like to see guys like Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino run a little bit more. I don't know if they would do it here or give Polanco a chance to try to move him over.
Inside again, 2-0.
Well, this guy's a guy you can run on because he's tall and not real quick to the plate. And then fans might say, as Charlie's putting some signs on there, well, why doesn't he tell him to run? Well, because base stealers, guys stealing bases, don't steal bags successfully that often when you tell them to run because they're too cautious. It's a matter of you figuring it out when you can go, and if you're allowed to go on your own, then you go.
Rollins doesn't go. Polanco takes a strike, 2-1.
You know, if they're telling you have to go, a lot of times a guy gets really flat-footed down there and gets frozen in place because he's saying, I can't make a mistake now. I've got to go. He told me I have to go. I can't get picked off. That's not the way you steal bases. So that's what Charlie's point is, that he wishes they'd go more because they have the freedom to go.
Throw over. Rollins does not have that big of a lead, so he's back easy. Charlie pointed out aggressive base running, that he'd like to see it more. He thought Ruiz, when he tried to go from first all the way to home the other day on the wild pitch in Arizona, he said, now that was aggressive.
That was the old Little League play, right? Run till they tag you.
He said he just wasn't fast enough to beat Cody Ransom to the plate.
He was thinking straight.
Volstead took a long look in before he stepped off. Volstead has allowed 20 runs in his last 3 outings against the Phillies and 8 home runs.
Yeah, they've really hit him hard lately.
He hasn't won a game since the 10th of July last year. Two balls, 1 strike to count. Polanco fouls it away, so it's 2-2. Wheels mentioned the Cubs got him for Carlos Zambrano. The Cubs had to pay a good portion of Zambrano's salary for the year. But the Cubs had kind of given up on Zambrano's attitude, and the Marlins had kind of given up on Volsted's ability. So It was a clean slate for both pitchers.
Yeah, that's what it was. You know, your problem for my problem.
Swing and a miss, 1 away. And Rollins remains at first, so 1 out, and here comes Shane Victorino.
The sinker, he just came down and in. He was trying to get him over. Yeah, pretty good fastball. That was my point in the summary or the scouting report on Volstead. They talk about how he throws downhill, and he does. He's a big, tall guy. He got out of whack, they said, in Florida when he was trying to throw too many 4-seamers. They say his best off is when he's throwing over the top, downhill, and throws sinkers.
Victorino 1 for his last 17. Third baseman Stewart creeping in. Grounder left side. They won't turn 2. Let's see if they get 1. They won't even get 1. Well, that's what speed can do. Phillies haven't had a whole lot of that this year. But right there, Rollins' speed got him to second. Victorino's speed got him to first. And really the velocity of the ball out to short helped everybody along.
Yeah, and Castro was shifted up towards the middle of the diamond, too, on Victorino. Cheating for a double play, but also for him to hit it towards the middle. And that ball was in a perfect spot where the third baseman can't get to it. Stewart. Now watch where he is. See how he is? He's way over here. Now the ball's going to come into this area. No chance. Especially with a guy like Victorino who can run. The only guy that had a chance to make a play on that is Ian Stewart, the third baseman.
And he was playing in, so he couldn't get over to get to it. Here's Hunter Pence, and he'll take strike 1. Pence in the series is 2 for 12. He has 11 runs batted in. And he, too, even though he hasn't been in a Philly uniform that long, has good numbers against Volstead.
Digging some hole.
Back toward the middle. That's going to be a base hit into center field. Rollins will score. Victorino stops at second. The Phillies are on top 1-0. That sounds pretty good. A first inning run, and the inning is still alive.
Yeah, that'll get into Volstad's head too. Like, I can't get these guys out. I mean, pitchers
doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, pitchers know, Tom, that they struggle. It's not like they're hitting them hard this inning either. Bunt single, a bleeder in the infield. Now that ball's hit real hard. by Hunter Pence, right through the middle for a base hit.
It's still first and second. You've got good speed on the base pass for Wigginton. 3 for 9 in the series. His 13-game hitting streak came to a close yesterday.
That was a good job by Campana, the outfielder, too, to throw it where he did. Saw Victorino was still hanging around second. No sense to throw that in the middle of the diamond because Rollins is going to score. If you don't cut it off, then both runners move up.
At the knees, no balls and 2 strikes to Wigginton. I had to do a double take because Wigginton's been around for a while, but he does not have an at bat against Volstead. Phillies have struggled to get this first inning run home the first 3 games of the series.
Yep.
Now they have a chance to add more than 1. It'd be nice to get greedy.
Yeah, in this case, greed is a good thing.
Vance Worley will take it.
Is that what Gordon Gekko said?
That's exactly what he said. Swing and a miss, 2 outs. So 2 strikeouts for Volstead. And here comes Lance Nix.
That was a good slider he threw him there. He fouled off a breaking ball, and then he went after him with 2 strikes again to try and get him to chase, and he did. A 2-strike breaking ball, pretty hard one too. That's a very good pitch. And you know, the right-handed batter is going to pull off a little bit on that. Most of them will. And then he can't reach it.
Well, they still have a chance though with Nix up there. They play Nix to pull in the infield. He takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, pretty much straight away in the outfield, as you say, to pull in the infield.
And they do that a lot. You know, the Cubs have really adjusted their infield defense against the Phillies this entire series.
They're doing a lot of Joe Madden stuff out there.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Arizona jumped out to a 7-0 lead over Miami and then added 2 more in the 9th to win it 9-5. Justin Upton had 2 runs batted in. The Phillies are 4 games back in the division. Miami is 6 games back, and they have the same kind of offensive problems the Phillies have had.
Washington does not play tonight. They've been struggling offensively with great pitching. Got swept over the weekend in Los Angeles. The Braves do play tonight.
Yeah, Charlie said that, you know, depending on how this game turns out and the Braves game turns out, the Phillies could creep even closer with 6 important games coming up. Here's ball 4, and Nix works out a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded.
See what Volstad's done in this inning. 2 outs are on strikeouts. Both the right-handed batters, Polanco and Nix, and the left-handed batters had a little bit more luck against him. Pence, a right-handed hitter, drove in the run.
Carlos takes outside. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Daniel Kelly of Ben Salem. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Daniel will win a couple $100.
Good pitch to hit there. Carlos taking that fastball. Had a lot of the plate.
Carlos wants the new baseball.
Yeah. It's interesting because the thing didn't hit the ground, but maybe he saw a smudge on it when he threw it up there and he didn't like it.
Or he said, man, that ball moved a little bit more than I'd like it to, so give him a clean ball. That's what they used to do with Mike Scott. Get another baseball.
Well, those had different marks on it.
Carlos the opposite way. That'll be served foul into the seats. And it's 1-2. Carlos has a grand slam to his record. It's also 9 for 20 against Volstad.
There's a pinch hit grand slam he hit in Atlanta last year.
A hot day early in the year. One ball, 2 strikes the count. This will be the 22nd pitch of the inning. Opposite way, it sneaks into right field, a base hit. Victorino scores. Pence is going to score. This is a 3-run first inning for the Phils.
Well, he did a nice job in that slider. Struck Wigginton out on a tough breaking ball, and Carlos Ruiz got one there and took it the other way. They were playing him up the middle, and Barney couldn't get to it to his left. Or I mean, that's Blake DeWitt tonight. See that slider? That's a tough pitch, and the only thing you can do with it is hit it the other way, and right under DeWitt's glove.
Well, here's Pete Orr, and he takes a strike. They thought about an appeal, but the home plate umpire Dale Scott called it a strike. Orr playing for Freddie Galvis tonight. Charlie said to me today that he thinks Freddie's just putting too much pressure on himself offensively to try to succeed, so he figured he'd give Pete Orr a couple swings tonight.
Well, Freddie Galvis is a work in progress offensively. You know, he has a tendency, like a lot of young guys, to chase a lot of high pitches. And he's not strong enough, and most people aren't strong enough to drive high pitches, and he certainly isn't at this point. We've seen when he hits the ball, when it's down in the zone, that's when he can handle some stuff. But when the ball's up in the zone high, it's going to be fly balls that are playable in the outfield.
He's chatting with Michael Martinez, who has continued to make some progress, trying to come back from that broken bone in his foot. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Line drive, base hit to right field again. They're going to try Nix to the plate. Here's the throw from De Jesus, and it is not in time. Orr goes to second. It's 4-0 Phillies. Long well said, what the heck. The pitcher's up next. Let's see if we can score a run.
Pitcher's up next. There's 2 outs. Might as well blow a rotator cuff and send him in. And Sammy hasn't had to wave that arm like that for a long time. And Chris Volstad, you can't tell me that this team doesn't get between his ears, because these are finding holes too. That ball's hit hard right in the hole to right field. Juan had him coming all the way. Ball bounces away. Big inning, bat around.
So the 9th man to bat in the inning is Vance Worley. Swing and a miss at the first slider. They're going to score that an RBI single. He didn't go to second on the throw. They're going to say it's an error to Soto, the catcher. You know, Orr did stop at first.
Yeah, but the throw bounced. You know, that's usually you give it to the outfielder when it bounces, right?
0-2 the count. Depends on the bounce, I guess.
Never seen it that way. But anyway, it's an error. And a bat around, which is sweet.
Well, he stays alive. Mike McConey is the official scorer, Wheels, and he's a catcher at heart. So,
well, he's going to penalize the catcher.
Maybe he, as a forward catcher, he's thinking that play should have been caught.
Mike's a great scorer.
He really is.
But usually give that to the outfielder.
No balls, 2 strikes to Worley. Grounder back toward the middle. Castro backs up on it. Throws strong to first, dug out by Laher. Boy, that nearly cost him because he backed up on it. But the inning is over, and the Phillies score 4 runs. Here comes a standing ovation for the offense. Lance Nix, he scored the 4th. Pretty good hustle out of second base. We go to the 2nd. scoring in the bottom of the first inning. That's a great inning to start this ball game off. You know, during the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Hunter Pence got the scoring started with a single up the middle. Carlos Ruiz did a great job just going the other way with a breaking pitch when he had 2 strikes against him.
Yeah.
And Volstead has a wicked slider, too.
Well, you saw, you know, Wigginton had a lot of trouble with it. You can understand why. But that's the only way you're really going to do any damage on that pitch away as a right-handed batter is to hit it that way. A lot easier said than done.
So now we go to the second. Worley has a 4-run lead and face Brian LaHare, who's 5 for 11 in this series. He has struck out 6 times, but he's also scored 3 runs.
This is where you want Vance Worley to come out, throw strikes, have a shutdown inning.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good job in that first inning. The Phillies early in the inning used some speed from Rollins with a bunt and Victorino with the inside with the infield hit. That set the whole inning up.
One ball, 2 strikes, the count. He got it. In the dirt, dug out by Ruiz. Second strikeout for Worley. And one away. It'll bring Alfonso Soriano to the plate. Follow the Phillies with the MLB.com at-bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. You know, if you're walking around with your phone and you don't have a way to listen to, you know, let's say the Phillies or somebody else, you can listen to them on your phone with the iPad. Alfonso Soriano takes a breaking ball for a strike.
We do that.
Might drain your battery a little bit, but it's okay. You can plug it in.
Yeah, that's why you have it. Bring that cord with you that I have for you guys.
That's exactly. I was just going to say. That's why we use your adapter.
It's a community cord. What's mine is yours.
Great movement on that pitch. It's 0-2. That's a fastball, but it had some cut on it at the end. Soriano's 2 for 8 in the series. There were some folks in Chicago that wondered if he would start today. It's that one in the air to left field. Playable for Pence. Now there are 2 outs here in the second. I say that because Joe Mather hit a home run yesterday, and Alfonso Soriano, although he was the cleanup hitter at the start of the year, only has 1 extra base hit.
Well, to say the least, he has not been a great signing for the Cubs. They
still have him for 3 more years.
Yeah, at the time it seemed like, well, there's probably too many years at the end of the contract. But from the start, it's been a disaster.
2 away. Here's Ian Stewart.
Guy gets a big, excuse me, Tom. Guy gets a big deal like that. You think, well, that's probably, you know, he'll be okay for a while, but at the end, you're going to get burned. They got burned immediately.
Strange as it sounds, even the deals that Albert Pujols signed this offseason and Alex Rodriguez signed for the Yankees a couple of years ago, they were deals that people felt the same way about.
Right.
Dale Scott took one right under the mask.
Yeah. It's a little Adam's apple shot. He'll be calling strikes with just his arm right now, not his voice.
How about this fact about Dale Scott, Wheels? Do you know that he has now umpired, counting today, 4 of Vance Worley's starts in his career? Nobody else has even umpired. Well, one other guy has umpired 2.
Yeah, because he hasn't had that many starts. Other than the guy to have 4.
1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Has it been good for him?
He has, actually. Worley is 1-1 with a 3.00 earned run average, which has now crept under 3 with the first inning and the 2/3 scoreless. popped him up. Third base side. Polanco might have a play. He will. Near the warning track, and the side is retired. A 1-2-3 second inning for Vance Worley. Well, Wheels, he got the shutdown inning that you were looking for, and Sarge is always looking for. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Phillies 4 and the Cubs nothing. Top of the order, and that means Jimmy Rollins, who once again is in the leadoff spot, which, you know, so far mixed reviews, Murph, as far as Jimmy being back in the leadoff spot, but there's no doubt it's the most comfortable place for him.
Yeah, and Charlie Manuel was asked about that today, asked if the experiment of Jimmy Rollins in the 3-hole is over, and he said, I'm not going to say that it's over, but he wanted to give Jimmy a chance to go back to that more comfortable leadoff spot for him, and it gives Jimmy a chance to do some different things, and I think we saw that in the beginning of this game. You know, you're not going to drag bunt in the 3-hole, but you know, in the leadoff spot, it works as he grounds out the first right here. But getting an opportunity to do some different things that you might not be able to do in that 3 spot, and that was Charlie's thinking in moving him back up there.
Well, and although he hasn't done it in the 3 games he's been the leadoff hitter, he does have 37 leadoff home runs, and you know that kind of fires up the team a little bit too when he could start a game by popping one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And, you know, Charlie also talked about maybe he was pressing just a little bit in that 3-0. He said, you know, I'm not saying that that's what Jimmy was doing, but sometimes you get put in a spot where you're expected to drive in runs like that in the 3-hole, and maybe you do press a little bit. So he wanted to see Jimmy and how he would react back at the leadoff spot. 1 for 2 tonight. And as you said, you know, kind of mixed reviews early in the 3 games he's played, but it's early for him.
Well, very animated after that ground out as we saw him go back to the dugout.
He either thinks he had a pitch to hit or he got himself out. Let's see. Thompson's very animated. You usually don't see this from him. He's usually a lot cooler when he goes back in.
Polanco hits one back through the middle for a 1-out single.
Baseball has eyes in it, which is really nice for a change.
By the way, Jimmy Rollins and Roy Halladay both have folks here tonight that are part of their community programs.
That's a sinker. He got what he wanted out of it, did Volstein. He wanted a hopper in the infield. Only, as I said, it's got some eyes, and their eyes are looking good for the Phillies right now.
It's the 6th hit of the night for the Phils. Mentioned that Jimmy Rollins and Roy Halladay have folks here tonight as part of their ticket program. J-Roll's Aces are represented tonight by the Thomas Morton School. And Doc's Box is represented by the children from the Alfred DuPont Hospital. A lot of the Phillies players have programs that they utilize during the season. They give tickets to kids that are in local hospitals or kids who are in certain programs around the Delaware Valley. Victorino slaps it foul, and it's 0-2.
Shane's having a lot of trouble staying back left-handed. And, you know, this is one of those spots to try and hit a ball in the hole right here. You know, he did hit a dribbler his first time up, went to the left side, and he got the base hit. But, you know, right now is where he really wants to do is pull the ball if he can.
On the out-of-town scoreboard, Atlanta is up 2-0 over the Pirates. Freddie Freeman, 2 runs batted in. The kids for the Braves, Freeman and Jason Hayward, are swinging the bat pretty well. It's helped during this series. You know, the Braves have won 7 of 10 against the Pirates, dating back to last year. Victorino swung at what would have been ball 2.
Probably was a changeup or something that was sliding away from him.
Phillies will head to Atlanta after this game, and Cole Hamels will have a matchup tomorrow against Brandon Beachy. Wednesday, Roy Halladay against Tommy Hanson. Those are 2 really good matchups. And then Joe Blanton, who threw very well his last time out, against Randall Delgado. So the Phillies will miss Tim Hudson, who pitched yesterday.
And they miss Minor,
who's up tonight,
who's been pretty good.
Here's Pence, who fouls the first pitch away. He singled home a run, the first run of the night for the Phils, his last time up. That hard, but right at Starlin Castro. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phils. Placido Blanco is left on the base paths. We are leaving the second, and we go on to the third. Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please, we'll submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, during the decade of the 60s, that's 60 to 69, Wills, Hank Aaron led the major leagues in RBIs with 1,010. What player was second? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Think you got a guess at that one?
Well, I got to guess because of who's in town.
Who's in town? The Devils?
The Cubbies.
Oh, yeah. Blake DeWitt will start it off here in the 3rd. He takes inside.
They had a couple pretty good RBI guys in the 60s.
They did.
But I don't know that that's the answer.
Actually, I would say they had at least 3.
Oh, they had some real good ones.
DeWitt acquired from the Dodgers a couple of years ago. They thought he would be their everyday second baseman. The Dodgers did. And the Cubs thought maybe he could play a little third, too. And now he's just a utility guy. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes.
Vance have been working ahead of the hitters tonight. He fell behind this one. But, you know, his pitch count is not real high. That's one thing, as I mentioned, has really hurt him. That, you know, you look up 6 innings, he's 100 or more pitches, and they almost have to think about going to have to go get him.
Just missed off the outer edge. That's what was happening in the 1st inning.
He's not going to get that.
Over to left field. Lance Nix is there. A little late, but he's there with a snow cone. Well, he was really there the whole time, but he was here, there, and everywhere. But he puts it away. Vance is actually a pretty good outfielder. We saw that in spring training. He covers ground, and he's got a great arm.
Yeah, he is. That thing had a little more slice to it than I think he anticipated at the beginning. And he just froze slightly, and now let's see it slicing. And it hit the heel of the glove too.
Popped up to the top.
Yeah, that's why it's nice to use those big old long gloves.
One out for Giovanni Soto, and he takes a strike. Vance has become a very popular Philly, and part of it was his success last year when he finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. The other part of it, I think, is the emotion that he wears on his sleeve when he's out there on the mound. And of course, the glasses and everything else. And he's an unbelievably relaxed guy off the field.
He is.
On the field, he's pretty intense. Well, here at Citizens Bank Park, they have the different kiosks all around the park, and of course the Majestic Clubhouse store. And if you are a hankering for a Vance Worley bobblehead, do you know they have a Vance Worley bobblehead that they sell?
Is that right?
Goggles and all.
They removable?
Well, that's a good question. I saw them through the window. I didn't see if the goggles, much like Ruiz's mask, is removable or not.
He's a pretty easy guy to like.
Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Rollins, sets himself, has a catcher running, and he has Wiggins to dig it out at first base. 2 away. That's a good play all the way around.
Yeah, and as you said, Tom, they had the catcher running, and Wigginton did a nice job to help Jimmy on the other end of that play. Soto a little slow out of the box. Now Jimmy took one extra step than I think he wanted to take. Then he didn't get a real good grip on the ball, but he got it in the vicinity. And then you look over to your first baseman, help me out. Yeah, thanks.
So Volstead will bat, hits it toward third, diving stop Polanco to his feet, and he has time. Back-to-back fine plays by the left side of the infield, and even the first baseman Ty Wigginton resulted a 1-2-3 third inning. We've played 2.5 with the Phillies on top by 4. Yes, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Nissan. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. Well, it's a pleasant night here at the ballpark. Earlier today, the sun was shining brightly, blue skies up above, and then it got a little overcast. But it's nowhere near as cold as it's been the last couple of days. Phillies will head out to Atlanta following this game. 3 in Atlanta and then 3 in Washington. Includes next Sunday night, which will be on national television. And then they come back home, and the fans who are enjoying themselves tonight will get a chance to enjoy themselves for a longer period of time when the Phillies return home.
Yeah, just broken up by 2 that they go back and play in Chicago. And for the most part, a really long homestand. Should be great to be back and play all those home games. The weather will start to warm up a little bit normally in the month of May.
Ty Wigginton starts it off here in the 3rd. He struck out his first time up. That was in the 1st when everybody batted. Blake DeWitt hasn't played perfectly toward the middle.
Volstad's staying with what his best pitch is, I think, and that's his sinker. And, you know, he's gotten hurt on some ground balls that have gotten through. But, you know, he'll also get outs that way because the ball's pretty heavy.
Well, as Wheels mentioned, he was a first-round pick in 2005. He was the 16th pick overall by the Marlins in a year in which they had 3 first-round selections.
You know, the last 2 big innings the Phillies have had in the first game of the series and this one, or the second game of the series and this one, Lance Nix has been involved by walking. And, you know, it may not seem like a big deal, but rallies, you need some walks in rallies for the most part.
Again, they play him with an overshift to the right side. And Starlin Castro, the shortstop, is credited with the assist. We mentioned the Phillies will come home after this next road trip and be home for a while. Well, it starts on Monday, May 7th at 7:05 with 3 against the New York Mets. Tuesday the 8th is an Asian Pacific celebration here at the ballpark. Get your tickets by checking out Phillies.com. I don't think I've ever seen those lids before.
Well, Sarge will be down there checking them out. That's quite a collection.
Like a floppy hat.
Yeah, different kinds.
Carlos Ruiz takes outside. Sarge, who is always one to provide a fashion statement, was walking around today with a Charlie manual T-shirt where Charlie was dressed in his Japanese baseball uniform.
Yeah, he bought a few of them. He said some for us. Charlie got a kick out of it, evidently.
Charlie would like one also.
Yeah.
Sarge, where'd you find that one? I was walking through the city and saw it on a mannequin and just took it off.
Sarge used that word, mannequin?
Yeah.
That's good.
Up high, 3-1 to Ruiz. Carlos is after his 2-run single his last time up is now hitting .476 for his career against Volstad. And ball 4. So he lays off. He's been on base twice. And that leaves the door open for Pete Orr, who drove in a run with a single his first time up. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-1.
You see Volstad getting the ball down a lot better right now, getting some ground balls there, got a swing and a miss. He has the potential to settle down in the game, so it's kind of nice to hit him early like that.
Broke his bat, grounder right back to the box. Volstad fires over to first, and the inning is over. The Phillies have had a base runner in each of the first 3 innings. We've completed 3. We've found some new hats, which means that Sarge is coming up next. WB Mason at home to find branded products you want at low prices you'll love. Who but WB Mason at home? Vance Worley will go to work in the top of the fourth. He's got a 4-0 lead. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth. And Worley will face the top of the order. Sarge, let me begin by saying that I knew that you knew what a mannequin looked like. It was Wheels who wondered if you knew what a mannequin was.
Yeah, looks like you guys are having a pretty good time up here scoring these runs. And you get a chance to.
I thought it was an inappropriate statement.
Well, yeah, I do know.
It was funny, but I thought it was inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did. I pulled it right off. But I don't know if you guys can actually see this.
You can see the hat.
Later on, I'll take it off. But it has a picture of Charlie that's right on it. And I just kind of wore it out there to kind of break the monotony up a little bit. I got you. Okay. And just to give the guys kind of some laughs. And had mentioned maybe I needed to go and to the kennel and get maybe some German Shepherds to take up to the plate with them. And then I said, well, let's just wear this Charlie Manuel shirt. Maybe that'll give them some strength to go up there and get hit. So
did they laugh?
More so in fun. No, that wasn't funny when I said that. You know,
no, they laugh at the shirt.
Charlie laughed. And we have one for Charlie. And matter of fact, for all you guys. But going to have to pull him off that mannequin again. But I did. I did put in some more. Put in a couple of orders, even for some of the guys that are in the truck that works with us. So we'll be walking around representing Manny.
All right.
Charlie Manuel, I should say.
David DeJesus says behind 0-2 when he lays off 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nice to see them get some early runs for Worley.
It's nice to see them get some early runs for anybody.
Well, confidence starts to come when you're able to do that. It takes pressure. Yeah, off the pitcher, off the defense.
That one just missed off the inside corner. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jesus. He singled his first time up, but was thrown out trying to stretch that single into a double. Hunter Pence picked up the outfield assist. Hunter, who said yesterday about his defense, he said, I've just got to be better. And right there, he was better on that throw. Not a bad spot, but it's 3-2. Tony Campana on deck. On the outside corner. I wasn't sure if Dale Scott was going to give that to him. He hasn't really given the outside part of the plate. That's the 3rd strikeout for Worley. It's his 2nd one looking.
Now Worley has a little hop after he throws his pitch. Check it out. He knows he's got it on the outside part of the plate. Pitchers know when there's strikes, and you're right, they don't always get them called, but with that reaction, you got to give it to him.
85 of his last 149 strikeouts have been looking.
That shows you then that ball has movement on it.
Here's Campana. Try to run up, swinging slug bunt.
He's trying to get it on the ground any way he can. He knows he has a great chance. You can see the infield has actually moved in. Carlos Marmol, their closer, always seems to make it interesting in the 9th.
Breaking ball a little low, 1-1.
Well, you see, though, with that running start, if he hits the ball on the ground, very difficult to throw him out.
As long as it gives it to him with 2 strikes, I'm okay with it.
Well, you don't want to walk him. You want to stay ahead, and he's been doing that. You don't make this hit to get him.
There's a bunt up the third base side. Polanco barehands, throws in time. He got him by a hair.
Well, I didn't think he had a chance to be able to get him. Polanco off and running. Soon as that batter comes up on that bat a little, there he comes barehanding it. Toughest play for a third baseman coming in, and he got him all right. take a look at it and got him plenty. Well, not plenty, but
for that
getting
guy.
ready to step on the bag and got him.
So 2 outs. Castro, who struck out looking his first time up this plate, gets that one off his foot. Foul ball. It's 0-1.
Collectively as a group for the Cubs, they decided to have Mr. Castro hit third. And that's like an organizational type of decision. And again, you have your manager that's on the same page there with the general managers. But again, these guys are talking about numbers.
Broken bat. The bat went farther than the ball, and Jimmy Rollins tried to barehand and throw out Castro, but it's going to be a base hit. He may have been able to scoop it and flip it, but it would have been a really close play.
Yeah, kind of a do or die type of play. I thought maybe he could have got around it and picked it there with the glove and been able to throw the runner out.
All right, in our effort to finish off the story, there is the T-shirt.
Yeah,
Charlie's son.
And Charlie says when they say Charlie's son, that it means a lot of respect when they have a son on the end of it. It means they respect the player.
Okay.
And obviously, we respect Charlie here. But when you're in a different country, you got to really be able to hit the ball in order for the fans to really take hold to you.
All right, so that's Charlie's. That's the Charlie in uniform for the Buffaloes over in Japan.
Yeah, had darker hair then, by the way.
Had more hair then, by the way.
But Charlie liked it. He saw it right away, and he went like he just kept staring at it like, I can't believe you have that on. So it did bring a little smile to his face, where it hasn't been a whole lot of smiles so far this season.
I saw a lot of the old baseball cards. Brian LaHare is the hitter, and he takes it inside. It's 2-1. The Buffaloes uniform, remember how the Phillies used to wear the baby blues, the powder blues? That's the Buffaloes uniform was their road one. It almost looked like the Montreal Expos uniform.
Oh, okay.
LaHare struck out swinging his first time up. There's the two-seamer at the knees, and it's 2-2.
Good spot. He had that pitch in. A lot of confidence. Worley has been pitching with. Believes in his ability. This guy's a pretty good looking hitter. He takes pitches. That's a pretty good swing.
Opposite way, just under the glove of Polanco down the left field line. Castro to third. They'll hold him there. LaHare to second. And now second and third for the Cubs with 2 outs. Phillies had some hits in the first couple of innings that had some eyes. That one certainly did.
He actually hit a real good pitch there. Sometimes there you got to give credit to the hitter as he goes the opposite way. There goes Polanco just under his glove as he dives. And I don't know, even if he catches that one, he may not be able to do anything with it.
Well, the 8th double of the year for LaHare. It's his 6th hit and 13 at-bats in this series. Soriano flied to right his first time up. To right center field. Playable for Pence. A few steps from the track, and the inning is over. Well, the good thing about facing Alfonso Soriano is that he's aggressive. If you make your right pitch, you should be able to get him out. That's exactly what Worley did. He left 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th.
shutout. Phils with the lead 4-0. And Tom, you and Wheels were talking about 2 innings ago, the Vance Worley bobblehead doll. So as I was making my way through the concourse, I decided to pick you one up. You seemed like you really liked it. It's a good likeness. Now, the goggles are permanent. They don't come off. But it is very nice. Just $24.99. So I will bill you later on in the season for this. But I did pick you one up.
I would think, Murph, that somewhere in Vance Worley's future, there may be a bobblehead day or night here at the ballpark where the glasses might be removable.
You know what? I think he may be next in line when it comes to bobblehead night as he puts his bat up on this one, fly to right field, but doing what he needs to do on the mound tonight, and that's the most important thing for Vance Worley.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. We appreciate you going out and looking for it. There you go. In fact, they have a number of the Phillies players that are for sale. But that one I thought was kind of neat, Sarge, because it has the goggles on it, the glasses on it.
Yeah, he's becoming pretty popular.
Now, if they gave one out, maybe they'll have the hat come off and you can see the mohawk.
Yeah, and let's face it, he's had his own style since coming up here.
Well, one away, top of the order. Rollins is up. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins 1 for 2, bunted his first time up and reached and then scored.
Yeah, when you talk to the guys about hitting, I mean, it didn't take them just a day or so to get into this funk, so it's going to take them a little longer to get off of it.
And Rollins, for the second straight at bat, will ground out. That one a high chopper to first. Phillies baseball is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By McDonald's. Get a large sweet tea for $1. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Jimmy happy with himself after that bunt single. Not so much after the 2 ground outs to first.
Yeah, I thought he had pretty good wood on this ground ball here. Could have been up a little bit higher, but you know, when you're in a slump, it starts off with 1 hit. Then you're able to get 2 for 3, maybe another 2 for 3, and then you keep building it. You know, you can't make it all up in one game. So when you're not hitting, you want to be satisfied when you're hitting the ball hard.
Opposite way from Blake DeWitt, so it turns out to be an easy inning for Volstead. We go to the 5th inning, and Vance Worley, without the bobblehead, will go back to the mound, leading it by 4. At 7:05, and then Tuesday the 15th at 1:05. 1:05 on Tuesday is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And Monday the 14th, Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night. A free Phillies Liberty Bell cap to all fans. Check out Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Tonight is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. And I can't make it out. I think they're tied. I think Rob and Ryan are tied at 8. as we go to the fourth. We're actually going to the fifth.
Yep.
So they're an inning behind, unless they haven't tabulated yet.
Maybe they're taking a little bit of a break.
Ian Stewart starts it off for the Cubs. Popped out his first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Worley tonight has struck out 3.
You gotta like the way he's working. He works quick. When you work quick, keep your defense on their toes.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, good news from down in Atlanta. Pedro Alvarez has hit a home run. It was a 2-run shot that's helped give the Pirates a 4-2 lead. Mike Minor has allowed 4 earned runs in 4 innings. That's as many as he allowed in his previous 3 starts. As Dan Iasonia informs us that Stewart went around on that check, so it's 3-2. Be a heck of a day all the way around. If the Braves, the Mets, and the Marlins all lost today. Marlins have already started here. There's ball 4. Walk number 1.
Right, you do like that, being able to pick up ground on the teams that are ahead of you. Well, you want to cool Atlanta off some. They've been playing pretty good ball.
Well, the Phillies will see the Braves for 3 games and try to cool them off after this one. The Braves have scored 115 runs so far this year. Compare that to the Phillies, who have scored 74 runs this year.
Big difference.
Ground ball right side. Ooh, Wigginton kicked it, and everybody's going to be safe. If he had let that go, Orr would have thrown to Worley to get the out at first. They wouldn't have gotten the runner at second. But he was trying to make something happen and just didn't get to it.
You're looking for outs as he goes and right off of the bag, and he just didn't catch the ball. It would have been bang bang there. He backhands the ball. If it got all the way in that glove or not, but once he bounced up, wasn't able to corral the ball.
Well, now he's got some lifting to do here in the bottom of the order. Giovanni Soto grounded out to Rollins his first time up.
Oh, nice to get that little ground ball double play. He's a great candidate. Not a fast runner in Soto. Quality pitch, sinker on his hands inside. So he needs to come up with that really good pitch. Maybe a little slider, sinker on the outside part of the plate down where he can get that ground ball.
There you go. Slider down and away. 4th strikeout. And then 1 gone, and the pitchers due up. From the Phils offense to the Sixers and Flyers playoff matchups, Michael Barkat and Phillies top sports writers have plenty to talk about. Watch the best talk of Philly sports on Daily News Live. That's tomorrow at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. That was a heck of a finish yesterday in the Flyers-Devils Game 1. Daniel Briere, 4 minutes and 36 seconds into overtime, scored his 2nd goal of the game to win it for the Flyers 4-3. Olstead bunted at it and missed, and it's 0-1.
You kind of punched at the ball when you're bunting. You want to almost just catch the ball and keep the bat above the ball, meaning that if you do that, you can get a ground ball. If it's underneath, usually you're going to pop the ball up. It looks easy when you're at home and saying, why can't you just bunt that ball and lay it down here or there? But it can be pretty difficult, especially with movement. And he'd like to strike out now for sure, so maybe get it out of the zone.
This time Volstead pulled it back. And he bunts it toward third. That's a pretty good bunt. Ruiz will have one play. That's to first. Just kept on rolling.
Yeah, real good bunt with 2 strikes and making Carlos go out to get the ball. No chance to get any of the other runners.
So the sack goes 2-4.
Well, that's good technique the way that he is. You see how it's right on top of the ball. Take a look at it again, and right there on top, and that's, you really dead the ball when you can get it where he did there. That's a pretty good bunt with 2 strikes.
Now with 2 outs, it's David DeJesus, who's 1 for 2. Takes a curve for a strike, and it's 0-1.
The difference between major leaguers and minor leaguers, that major leaguers are able to get that breaking ball over the plate a lot more than in the minor leagues. Starting hitters off, if you get behind, being able to throw some off-speed pitches. Just off the corner, inside and out.
Center field, playable for Victorino. And Worley's going to get out of the inning. He leads a couple more. He's left 4 in the last 2 innings. No runs, no hits. 2 men left, and that guy right there, Shane Victorino, will lead it off when we come back. Phillies yearbook is now available. It features full-page player photos, stats, and always popular player family photos. Order today by calling 877-GO-PHILS or visit the Phil's newsstands at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies lead it 4-0. They scored all 4 runs in the first. Shane Victorino is the first hitter here in the 5th. Chris Volstead threw just 7 pitches in the 4th inning. So he has settled in. Let's see if the Phils can get something going here in the 5th.
There are just some pitchers you feel comfortable against. This is one of the pitchers for the Fighting Field. They seem to have pretty good swings every time they face him.
Whereas Matt Garza was a different story yesterday. Garza, according to Elias, was the first opposing starter to allow 1 hit through the first 7 innings at Citizens Bank Park since August of 2010.
He had all his pitches going. His fastball, 93, 94 that Garza had and throwing his off-speed pitch. He kept the ball out of the middle of the plate on the corners, inside, some good change-ups.
Shallow left field. Alfonso Soriano is in. And as Victorino heads back to the dugout, Hunter Pence will be up. 5 in a row set down by Volstead. He hasn't allowed a hit since the 2nd. Sarge, we're getting to the end of the month, obviously. There's not a full slate of games that are taking place today. And there's a good amount. There's 6 games going on in the American League, and there are 5 games going on, or 6 counting this one, in the National League. What's your biggest surprise, do you think, in the month of April? Is it Matt Kemp with 11 home runs and 24 runs batted in? Is it Strasburg coming back? Or is it the Angels, as bad as they are?
You hit it right on the head there. Just the way Pujols is actually playing, just didn't think that he would get off to a bad start. And, you know, again, they have a lot of good hitters. When you have a lot of good hitters on the team, it just takes pressure off of you. I'm really surprised the Nationals are playing the way that they are with a young club like that. When you take a look at the American League West right there, and you can see 7-15. That's not really holding very well there with any of those fans. And also Socha, the manager with the Angels.
Ty Wigginton hits one off the glove and then off the umpire. And Wigginton will get a base hit out of that one, I think. He hit that ball pretty hard. DeWitt had it go off the thumb of his glove, and Angel Campos, the second baseman, had it go off his arm, I think.
Yeah, that's to me, line drive there. He's jumping up. That's got to be a hit there, especially at home. Little home cooking here, and he smokes this ball. Line drive. Watch him as he tries to get up there right now, and again, either a good play or a hit for me.
So the umpire gives the safe signal. The safe call. That means that ball is in play when it hits him. He's part of the field. Lance Nix walked and grounded out to short. Well, just to finish it off, the Angels are 9 games back. Since divisional play began, only 2 teams in baseball history have overcome an 8-game deficit or more after the first month to qualify for the postseason.
Wow. Now, and then what makes it real difficult when you see them 7-15, you got to get to 500 before you can even think about making a move there. You know, and other teams are going to be winning. It just makes it more difficult. Now, the way to catch up, you got to beat the teams head to head in your division. 2 out of 3, if not, the sweep.
Nix lines it foul down the left field line. Well, and I guess around baseball, folks would probably say the Phillies are surprised to be under 500 for the first time in April since 2007.
Well,
but also Utley and Howard being out might answer some of that.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, when you're looking at the club and just, guys haven't played together, struggling on the offense, being able to get guys over, getting them in, it's just been very difficult. But having the pitching that they have will make it easier for them to stay in the race, and not only that, be able to get where they need to do, because pitchers can get hot too, just like hitters can.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Nix with a runner at first. Lays off 2-2.
He's thrown everything just about outside. See if he wants to try and come inside at all to Nix. lot of times they don't like doing that to those power hitters. If they do, come in off the plate. See where he's going to go with this.
There's a liner to right. DeJesus started in, but it sank right back to him. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phils. Knicks hit it hard, but we'll go to the 6th. With the Phillies still hanging on to a 4-run lead. Our Independence Blue Cross Philly of the week is shining in his first. The Phils. Freddie Galvis is enjoying his time in the major leagues while filling in for Chase Utley. The shortstop turned second baseman hasn't missed a step on the right side of the diamond. His speed, ability, and his strong arm have not let him or his team down. Number 13 has been good luck for the Phillies, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, it's a Hatfield Dollar Dog night. The Fanatic left Smiley to take care of himself. At least he left the door open for him. One of many Hatfield Dollar Dog nights going on throughout the course of the year. We go to the 6th. Tony Campana, Starlin Castro, and Brian LaHare against Vance Worley.
Well, same thing. Want to keep him off the bases. Don't want to give him any hope. And he gets on. They automatically think they're going to be able to score. Well, you realize in the successful days there for the Fighting Phils, J-Ro was running and Victorino. That just puts pressure on the defense. That's a great attack to be able to have.
Cubs have said that Campana is going to get 80% of the starts out in center field. He has started 3 of the 4 games in this series. Over to first, a foul ball.
Well, once he kind of figures it out, he's going to get bigger. He's going to get smarter as a base runner. He realizes his game has to be scoring runs, period. That's what he's going to be doing, and stealing bases.
1-2 pitch. Back toward the middle. Rollins hustles toward the bag, throws fast in time to get Campana. Tell you what, he is quick.
Well, that's just the pressure right there that he puts on you. Routine ground ball. There's smiles there because he ended up getting him, but you got to have a pretty good throw and you got to charge the ball. You wait back on this kid, it's going to be a big hit. Take a look at it. Now, that ball not hit hard at all as J-Ro comes in. He's not even looking at it. It is bam, bam right there as he just snips him.
Slider away. 1-0 to Starlin Castro. Castro's 1 for 2. Reached on an infield single his last time up.
I think before it's all said and done, the guy they want to have maybe hitting second will be Castro, I think, one day. And I say that because once this kid learns how to get on, you got to throw fastballs. And I think Castro is a pretty good fastball hitter. You're not going to be able to throw breaking balls to Campana once he's able to learn how to hit. You know what I mean? Near the 300, if he can get that way, 280 and above.
So why would you bat him second instead of third? Just because he'll get more fastballs?
I bat him second with Campana leading off.
Oh, okay.
And hoping that he would get more fastballs there in that second spot.
Okay.
Campana leading off and having Castro hit second, he would get more of those right there.
5 strikeouts for Worley. Second time he's gotten Starlin Castro.
Here's his fastball. Looks like he probably was guessing too. Right down the middle. Good pitch.
It's that ball that starts in the outer half, comes right toward the middle. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, which Worley did in the second. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long.
Looks like Worley's getting a little bit stronger. That fastball 92, a little bit of zip on it.
Fly ball left field. Way up there, and Nix has time to get under it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Vance Worley. Third of the night for Worley. He is pitching well to start this year. He's through 6. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and he still is on top by 4. Or visit ChevyDealer.com. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Phillies scored 4 in the first. They batted around in the inning. Carlos Ruiz had a 2-run single to help fuel that inning. And it'll be Ruiz, Orr, and Worley. Bottom third for the Phils against Chris Volstad. Phillies trying to even up the series. They have not lost a series to the Cubs here at Citizens Bank Park since it opened.
Yeah, more importantly, they're just trying to get some momentum and being able to get a little more consistent and going out and playing. Having that game plan that, sure, everybody wants to win, but you got to do certain things in order to do that. Everybody can't always hit that ball out of the ballpark, so I mean, just stay within yourself. Those doubles, they work too.
on the inside corner, and Carlos is called out on strikes. It's the third strikeout, make it the fourth for Volstead. And with one away in the fourth, here comes Pete Orr. Charlie Manuel decided to roll the dice, put Pete Orr in again tonight. He's played a couple of games in the last few days, and he likes the way Pete Orr is swinging. He likes a lot of other things about Pete Orr, doesn't he, Murph?
You know, he really does. When we were in Arizona, he talked about playing a hunch and giving Pete Orr some at-bats as he lays down this bunt, trying to get on base, and he does. Pulls the throw pulls the hair off the bag. You know, he talks about getting him some at-bats, and I talked to Pete when he found out he was in the lineup today. He was excited about the chance of, you know, getting a couple of bats during the game. He said the last time he started a game, he got 3 at-bats, and by the third at-bat, he was feeling very comfortable at the plate. I think Charlie has in mind him swinging away guys a little bit more than maybe laying down the bunt, but in this instant, it works.
Yeah, great speed, though, too. I mean, he's using his assets, Murph, and that's a good thing. And Charlie, you know, has talked to us in Arizona about how Orr's BP dictated playing time, and, you know, it's also dictated a couple of extra games too, which we may even see him against right-handers as this week moves on, don't you think, Murph?
I would think that's a possibility, because Charlie does like the way he swings. Vance Worley, successful sacrifice there. He likes the way he swings. He said today he'd like to see him harness his adrenaline just a little bit when he gets up there. He's a real good fastball hitter, but you know, sometimes gets fooled on the junk stuff that gets thrown his way. So he'd like to see him harness that a little bit. He thinks he could turn into a really good major league hitter, but getting the job done tonight.
All right, Sarge, what do you think about that? Is there aggressiveness if your adrenaline's going a little bit?
I like his energy. I like the energy that he brings to this club, and they need some of that there and some of his speed. And it's just, I think you have to see him play a few games, then you can be able to judge him. But so far from what he has shown, he is excited when he goes in there and he gets his chance to play. And the more he plays, less excited he's going to get. Then that's when you settle down and having that really good stroke.
He's also walking around the clubhouse with his Flyers t-shirt on all the time, too. He's at second. Pickoff play is on.
Ooh.
His aggressiveness almost got him caught there. His adrenaline almost got him caught there. I don't know if the glove hit his helmet or if the ball hit his helmet.
Well, getting back, he's going to hear that voice, get back. That comes from Samuel, third base coach. Now, you're looking at the second baseman there, and can't take much more than what he is.
A good spot for Rollins here. Ahead 2 balls and no strikes. 1 for 3.
Susan Tom can almost drive a truck just on the right side there on second base. If you can get that ball over there. Castillo playing him up the middle. And obviously, you can't guide it. Certain pitches in certain areas, you're going to just automatically hit the middle. Inside, you're going to be able to pull it out over the plate. Usually that ball's going to go up the middle, or
that's a balk.
Maybe the left field.
So that'll give Orr third base. First balk of the year called on Volstead. He doesn't think so. Crispacio doesn't think so either.
Let's see him on the mound there. And any kind of movement
right there.
There it is.
That was it.
Well, sometimes it's difficult when pitchers twitch a little, but they're not supposed to do that. That's why you end up getting that call.
Ball 4, so Rollins will join Orr on the base path.
That's showing patience on that 3-1 pitch. Would have been very easy to roll over.
Crispacio heading out to the mound. Talk to Volstead. Bullpen is now starting to stir for Chicago. Sean Camp is going to get his jacket off. He'll start to throw. Now Scott going to walk out, break up this conversation. I can't imagine that Chris Bosio is waiting for him to come out to say something about the balk. I mean, not that Bosio has the replay that we have, but he did flinch.
Yeah, and that's usually their game plan, that he'll ask him, well, what did he do? It didn't look like he balked to me.
Tonight at 10:30, Comcast Sportsnet is the best place to go for total Flyers-Devils playoff coverage. Get highlights and analysis of Game 1 and look ahead to Game 2 on Cup Quest later on at 10:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Blanco's 1 for 3. His single came in the second. Fly ball, shallow center field. Castro and Campana, and it's Campana. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit. 2 men left for the Phillies. Volstad allowed 4 in the first and nothing else. We go to the 7th, with the Phillies leading the Cubs.
For the Phillies against Chris Volstad, they found some holes. They did some good things. Jimmy Rollins drag bunt, lead off with a base hit. Shane Victorino hits his ball towards the shortstop. Castro, no play on him. So they were in business. Hunter Pence, base hit back through the middle. Phillies lead it 1-0. And then Carlos Ruiz later in the inning, a breaking ball away with a couple of strikes on him. Did a real good job of hitting it in the hole. And then right here, a base hit by Pete Orr to right field. Another run scores right there. Lance Nix, who had walked Phillies through a 4 spot up, and since then they've done very little with Volstad.
So now Vance Worley will go back to work in the 7th. He has set down 6 straight. Alfonso Soriano starts it off, and he takes inside. Soriano tonight is 0 for 2. Let's fly the right twice. That's a bullet. Right center field. Victorino's not going to get that one. And that's going to go into the bullpen on the hop. So it's a ground rule double. It's only the 2nd extra base hit of the year for Soriano.
That's hard to believe. The end of April. But he nailed that. That's the kind of things that Alfonso Soriano did so well to get himself that free agent contract. And he really could drive the ball at one time all over the place. Here's our game summary. Brian LaHare has a double in the game, a 7-game hitting streak. You see what Volstad has done. He'd been really good after the first inning. The Phillies threw a 4 spot up. Carlos Ruiz had that big 2-run single, and Vance Worley threw 6. Done a tremendous job.
So now Ian Stewart, the batter. Shows bunt, takes the ball. Worley's in pretty good shape pitch count wise, so there's nobody warming at this point.
Yeah, in other games at this point, he's been well over 100 here after 6 innings, but not tonight. No, they want Ian Stewart to bunt and get him over. They're down by 4 runs, in the 7th inning on the road. I think they probably like him to drive the ball here.
Speaking of being down, the Pirates' lead is at 3 over the Braves. At the top of the 6th. They hit a couple of home runs against Mike Minor. One by Pedro Alvarez. 2-1 the count to Stewart. A little high with that curve. It's 3-1. It's Blake DeWitt on deck.
Now they're going to start stirring in the bullpen.
Second time tonight that Vance has allowed the first 2 hitters to get aboard. Contreras is going to loosen up. I think Bastardo, yeah, there's Bastardo. He's going to loosen up too.
Yeah, that's the point in the game where you would get the 2 guys up. You like to get it to Qualls in the 8th, Papelbon in the 9th.
Rich Doobie was talking today about the 8th inning when the Phillies are down by 1 or 2. And he said there's been 3 occasions this year where the Phillies have been down by 1 or 2 runs in the 8th inning, and whoever's come in has allowed a couple of runs. He said we have to get to the point where we're secure in the 7th and 8th while we're winning. This is Dukes talking, and even when we're down,
right? Because it gives yourself a chance to win the game, like yesterday. That one got out of hand.
And a walk and a double to Soriano with nobody out, and he asked for Ruiz to come out to the mound.
Sound like the Cubs are yelling balk. They are.
I think they are. I thought I heard somebody yelling.
Yeah, it was their bench. And now Dale Scott's finally going to look over there. That stopped them a little bit. It was funny. He looks over, they get quiet. Look at like a bunch of little kids. They're all chirping away. He looks over. Now, did he flinch? He's on the rubber.
Looks like he's just breathing right there. Oh, yeah.
Right, he did. He did balk. He did.
He did say exactly what
he absolutely did. He flinched. You know, if you do that, what he just did, and you're starting to step off at the same time, that's fine, as long as it's in one motion. But he did more than what Volstead. Volstead barely flinched. He did flinch, and that time, you know, that was more.
Now you say that, but in the Hamels game, that's what Hamels did. He moved up and stepped off, and Bob Davis said you can't do it.
Right, but he don't ever say an umpire was wrong, but you can't do that as long as you're moving, as long as there's, you know, all in one thing. You're stepping back a little bit too. Now Cole had balked in that game. The first one he did balk. Down here at the bottom of the order, he just needs an out right here. Even if they advance runners on it, just get an out.
Which is kind of what happened in the 5th. A strikeout, and then they had a sack to advance the runners.
Right.
1-2 the count to Blake DeWitt. A little low, 2-2.
Really hasn't had that comeback sinker working tonight for called thirds the way that he has in a lot of other games. Uses curveball tonight, slider. See where they want to go here. Fastball away.
Line drive towards center field. Victorino's coming in. He plays it on a hop. The runners will advance one base. The ball goes into no man's land and is picked up by Worley. And the bases are now loaded with nobody out.
Well, that was a cutter or a slider, but it was flat right in the middle of the plate. Rich Doobie wants to know if they're ready out there.
Now Giovanni Soto, who's 0 for 2.
He might have done a little stall, trying to tell the infielders to then stall a little bit. Nope.
It's going to give him at least this next batter. He's got Reed Johnson on deck as a pinch hitter. Ground ball toward third. Backhanded by Polanco. There's one. There's two. And a run scores. But a double play. 2 outs here in the 7th. It's a 4-1 ball game.
That was a terrific play and a great decision by Placido Polanco. Now you got a 4-run lead. There's no way you're going to throw the ball home. It makes no sense. That's not an around the horn play, really. You have a slow runner coming out of the box. Tag the bag, get your footwork right, throw him out at first. Really a good play. First of all, this ball's hit hard. I mean, it's hooking away from him. Look at that. Now, watch see how he gets his footwork done. And now he's ready to throw. Strong throw to first. And it's all done by little pitty steps coming up towards the bag to make sure you hit the bag at the right time and then throw.
So runner at second. 2 outs. Reed Johnson, the pinch hitter. And there's strike one.
Veteran play.
Right in on the knuckles of Reed Johnson to run the count to 0-2. Vance Worley in his last outing went 6 innings. He allowed 1 run.
They probably saw that right there too, how aggressive he is. He had made up his mind to swing. If he's going to be that aggressive, throw something away. See if he'll chase it with 2 strikes.
More than 45,000 on hand tonight trying to get behind Vance Worley, get him through the 7th. It's the 102nd pitch of the night. Opposite way, a bullet knocked down by Wigginton. Worley is there, and the inning is over. He managed his way through a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation. Got a double play, and then that bullet off the bat of Reed Johnson, and Worley is through 7. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park, and the Phils up by 3. Of the 60s, from 60 to 69. Hank Aaron led the majors in RBIs with 1,010. What player was second?
I may be off on this, but I'm going to go with a Cub.
All right.
Now they had Billy Williams, but that's not my answer.
Oh, okay.
And they had Ron Santo. That's not my answer.
All right.
That's
your
go
choice.
With Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks Wheels is incorrect.
Who was it?
Well, you have to tell me.
Well, mate, It was Sano?
Ron Santo.
No kid.
814 runs batted in.
It wasn't Banks, huh?
Yep. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing. Dodge Stump the Fans.
Had a feeling it was one of those three.
Tell you what, they had some good hitters there.
And they never went to a World Series.
Remarkable.
Really is.
So Vance Worley's night most likely done as we go to the 7th. Sean Kemp is the new pitcher.
It'd be one of those things I'd like to find out how many Hank Aaron had that decade too, because you would think he would be in it. I mean, how many that Aaron had, how many Mays had,
right? Or how many Ernie Banks and Billy Williams had.
We know how many Aaron had, but how many? Yeah, Banks, Billy Williams would knock in a lot of runs too.
Dorito hits a line drive, a soft one, over to second. Blake DeWitt makes the diving play. Well, these lucky fans have not only enjoyed Vance Worley's game tonight, but they're also today's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Pence is 1 for 3, singled and scored and drove in a run his first time up. Did not offer at that first pitch. To right field. Ball scorched. Going back on it, DeJesus reaches up and he made the catch. Wasn't an easy play because it was moving every which way. It was slicing toward the end.
Oh, it was really slicing. Right-handed batter hits at it. DeJesus played it tremendously. He was a center fielder, so he's a good outfielder. And he knew that ball coming off the bat of a right-handed batter had a chance to be going to his left, and that's how he played it and made it.
This has been a 4-pitch inning so far to record the first 2 outs. Second one by DeJesus. Ty Wigginton swings at the first pitch and fouls it away.
I think that would be it for Vance Worley. He really had to work hard to get out of that inning. That was a big time jam and got out of it with 1 and to go to the bullpen for 6 outs.
Qualls and Castardo are both warming up. So Contreras sat down. Pitch.
They do go left at the top to start out the 8th inning, and they have all right-handed hitters on the bench.
Two balls and 2 strikes the count to Ty Wigginton.
You wonder if he's going to come in for the first 2 hitters, and then if they were to go to the bench for a right-handed bat, then Qualls would come in, or they would wait for Qualls to pitch to Castro, the 3rd hitter.
Yeah, they haven't done that.
No?
This year. If the Phillies are up in the 8th, it's usually Qualls that comes in.
And maybe Days or maybe Bastardo just continuing to throw on his own.
Little looper to right field. DeJesus won't catch this one. And Wigginton has the second hit. That'll bring Lance Nix to the plate. Phillies bench has 4 available, not 5. Jim Thome is still not available. Not being placed on the disabled list, but still is not available. He said yesterday his back was a little stiff still. Dale Swaim is coming out to the mound. He did have a lefty warming up, and he's going to go to the bullpen. So we've got a pitching change coming up here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies have a base runner with 2 outs. Lance Nix is the hitter, the left-hander coming in for Chicago. Phillies lead it by 3. Trying to add some more. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll We'll be back right after this.
The plays of the game. Boy, there have been some good ones in this one. Right out of the chute, David DeJesus leads off the game. Looks like it's going to be a double. Hunter Pence, good bounce off the wall there. Strong throw to second. Called out at second is DeJesus. Now here's a good play by Jimmy Rollins on a ball hit by Giovanni Soto. Dug out by Ty Wigginton. Campana puts down a perfect bunt, and what a play by Placido Polanco. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Giovanni Soto again. Polanco steps on the bag, throws to first. That's a double play, a run scores, and that's where we are right now at 4-1. Those are our Liberty Mutual defensive plays of the game. They are brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility, what's your policy?
Scott Bain in his 5th game. Left-hander comes out of the pen for the Cubs. Lance Nix called back by the Phils. And they'll send right-hander John Mayberry to the plate as a pinch hitter. With a runner at first, Phillies up by 3. Mayberry takes upstairs 1-0.
Probably leave him in the game. You only have to make one move this way.
Yeah, Big John, who was the starting left fielder for the Phils when the season began, has now been relegated to try to work his way back in the lineup in some capacity in these kind of opportunities. Ball, and it's 1-2. Inside, good play by Soto. Wigginton holds up at first. 2-2 now to Mayberry. Very important to keep that runner over at first. That's what Soto just did. So now Wigginton will be off and running. Phillies lead here 4-1. Pirates lead 7-3 down in Atlanta. Miami's already lost. Washington's off, and the Mets are in a scoreless tie in the 4th.
They're going to hold him on. Try to make it tougher to score from first on a double that way.
Wigginton goes, and a swing and a miss. Mayberry a little out in front of that curveball. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. On to the 8th inning. Time for the Phillies bullpen to take over for Vance Worley. Leaders are performing on the dugout with the Fanatic, all part of the Fanatic Dance, brought to you by Cabrini College. Here at the ballpark, the Sixers lost Game 1 to the Bulls in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Game 2 is coming up, and then they'll be back home on Friday at the Wells Fargo Center. Bulls, of course, lost Derrick Rose. He'll be out for the rest of the year, and that is a difficult loss for them.
Especially at that point in the game where they, there's all sorts of second guessing going on evidently out in Chicago, but why was he still in the game?
Yeah, there's a little over a minute left to play, so let's hope the Sixers are able to rebound after that Game 1 loss. Antonio Bastardo is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Here in the 8th inning, he'll appear in his 7th game. No wins, 1 loss, an earned run average of 3. 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. He's in because David DeJesus, a left-handed batter, and Tony Campana, also a left-handed batter, are the first 2 hitters in the inning.
Right, and that's what we talked about, that maybe they were going to go this way with 2 left-handed batters, see what Bastardo can do against them, and then of course they have Qualls ready for Castro in the 3-hole.
Up high, 1 ball and no strikes. Freddie Galvis comes on to play second base for the Phillies. John Mayberry, who pinch hit, stays in the game.
Galvis is going to hit 9.
So he's due to bat third in the bottom of the 8th for the Phillies. Popped him up, straight up, behind the plate. Ruiz off with the mask. Does he have room? He pounded the glove. That means he has room. 1 out. It's a sure sign when Carlos does that he's got that baby sized up.
Yeah, you do feel like he's got a heck of a shot at it when he does that.
214th consecutive sellout here at Citizens Bank Park on this Hatfield Dollar Dog Night.
That's a big out right there too, because he throws the first pitch way out of the strike zone. They're down by 3 runs, and DeJesus swings at the next one and pops up foul of the K. You think he would have, see, look at where this one goes. You think he would have stood up there and made him throw a strike before he'd even swing, and he's a veteran player. That's, I don't know. I don't think that's the way you play. Other ball. Glad he did it, but just doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
Balls, no strikes, the count. It certainly was a benefit to the Phils that DeJesus swung at that 1-0 pitch. I guess when you're lefty against lefty, though, and you see a pitch you think you can handle,
Yeah, but you're down by 3 runs.
Oh, I agree.
You know, you're trying to get on base, and he just threw the first one up by your nose.
There's ball 4. So 4 straight, and Campana's aboard.
That guy knows how to play.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Acura. Acura Advanced by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Well, Bastardo's night is done. Charlie Manuel's heading out to the mound, so the left-hander will be lifted for the righty, Chad Qualls. Qualls is already venturing down the stairs. So with 1 out here in the 8th inning, a new pitcher coming on for the Phils with the runner at first, and the Phillies on top by 3. On May 22nd, when the Washington Nationals come to Philadelphia, 3-game series, all 3 are at 7:05. Tickets are going very quickly, as you would imagine. That matchup, Washington and the Braves jockeying for the top spot in the division. Phillies are hoping to catch them very soon. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets. And, all right, Rob has 10, and Ryan has 11.
Oof.
Tight contests. So we go to the 8th in the Hatfield Dollar Dog Night competition.
Boy, they got to be walking slow, don't they?
Man, I don't think they're going to be walking tomorrow. Starlin Castro, the batter.
You don't want to be around them.
There goes the runner. Pitch is taken for a strike. Throw not in time. 7 for 7 this year in stolen bases.
That guy could tell you he's going and he'd make it. I mean, obviously they're not that worried about him, but they didn't want him to just steal the bag, because that takes a double play away.
I bet she tries for third.
He better make it, down by 3 runs.
There he goes. Ground ball through the hole. Left side, a run will score. RBI single for the Cubs. It's a 4-2 game.
They did not cover. That wasn't one of those things where the guy stealing third pulls the third baseman to the bag and it's a hit because of that. Polanco didn't move. The ball was just in the hole. But that Campana, he can do some things. He gets on base, he scores runs. And watch what happens. See, Polanco, he goes, but he holds his ground. Well, he did flinch a little bit, but it wasn't going to matter. He didn't run right to the bag, and leave the hole wide open.
Well, now Brian LaHare, who's 1 for 3, doubled back in the 4th, and you have to keep an eye on Castro. Castro is tied for first in steals this year.
Yeah, and you don't have to, and you don't want to get so concerned with him. You let this guy pop one.
Strike 1 at the knees, 0-1.
Because that's what he can do. He's the power guy in their lineup right now. Power potential guy. Pretty strong. Outfield's in the no doubles, don't hit it over my head defense. As you can see there how deep they are. Infielders will take a double play but they're more interested in an out here right now than two. They're back a little bit deep. And that's not double play depth.
Time is called. Ruiz asks for time. Runner goes. That ball's hit well. Deep to right center field. Pence on the run, and it is gone. And this ball game is tied up at 4. A 2-run home run for LaHare, his second extra base hit of the night. And the Cubs have come back from 4 to tie it up at 4.
Like a breaking ball too. You know, his best pitch is that sinker. And we're talking about, you don't want to worry too much about that guy over there and let this guy hurt you. I don't know if that's what happened, but he's a dead low ball hitter, like most of the left-handed hitters are. And that thing was down, and he golfed it out of here.
Here's Alfonso Soriano, 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the 7th.
But the Phillies got 4 in the first inning and then shut it down, or they were shut down by Volstad, and now paying the price for it.
Soriano's numbers against Qualls, 6 for 12 against him. Hit to left, not that deep, playable for Mayberry. It was a big swing and a high fly ball on the out as recorded. Second out here in the 8th. Well, Chad Qualls had 7 of 8 appearances prior to this one that were scoreless. Opposition was hitting just 148 against him.
Yeah, they took a chance in this inning by not starting the inning with him. They wanted to get Bastardo into the game to get some left-handed hitters out. And really, one got himself out, and he walked the other guy.
Ian Stewart has walked twice tonight. It's that one sharply into right center for a hit. Just his second hit of the series. He took a wide turn. And it's his 3rd hit at his last 34 at-bats. So Bastardo is charged with 1 run. Qualls is charged so far with 2. Mentioned the Phillies on the bottom of the order, due up in the home 8th. Galvis is part of that. He'll be in the 9 hole. And he's due up 3rd. DeWitt to left field, playable for Mayberry. That'll do it for the inning, but the damage is done. The Cubs very quickly scored 3 runs to tie the ball game up. 2 on a home run by Brian LaHare. That was the swing that tied this game up. He took a breaking ball and hit it into the seats in right center field. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a brand new game. Charity Pledge Program is a great way to follow your Phils players and also donate to a great cause. Your donation will go to one of 4 Phillies charities beneficiaries that you choose. Select a Phillies player, pledge a donation amount on the stats, such as home runs, RBIs, and wins. For more info, visit Phillies.com/pledge. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Scott Main's first pitch is outside to Ruiz. Now, kind of interesting, the Phillies put Freddie Galvis in the 9 hole. The pitcher spot was the 8 hole. So Juan Pierre is out on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher. As Carlos lines one to right at DeJesus. And there's one away. So here's Pierre. Charlie Manuel said it's not a surprise when he uses Pierre against a lefty because he feels like he can get on against a lefty. But tonight it's more out of necessity than anything else. Applebaum warms in the pen.
Right, you're at home now, so you can use your closer, or managers will use their closers at home in the tie. Ooh, game. Hit him with a frisbee. Now they have to watch for a bunt from Freddie Galvis because you're not up here to sacrifice with 1 out, but he could try to, drop one down, bunt for a base hit. I don't think they're up here to sacrifice with 1 out.
Galvis batting right-handed.
Third baseman right now. Stewart's motion in the dugout. Where do you want me? You want me on the line? You want me to up? There's a little confusion. He's still not sure what they want to do with him.
Galvis doesn't square, takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Stewart wound up playing even with the bag, but off it.
Pat Listash is the third base coach. Dave McKay, the first base coach. Listash is helping to coordinate the infield. McKay, the outfield.
And they are not going to go on the line. They're going to play him off the bag.
Throw over to first.
He's saying in the outfielders, he wants them to don't hit it over their head, no doubles. But they're not playing the line. And the only thing I can figure about that is, I don't know, they just don't think he's going to pull the ball down the line.
Was leaning a little bit. That ball nearly got away from LaHare.
He almost picked off LaHare and got Sam Perlaza. Watch Sam Perlaza duck. Whoa.
Get a pick off. Pierre stepped towards second again, just a little bit. Trying to get a good read on it. Ian Stewart, the third baseman, in foul territory. Castro, the shortstop, comes over. And that's the second out.
There's that high pitch we were talking about earlier with Freddie Galvis. Young player. That pitch looks really good out of the guy's hand, but there's not much you can do with it except pop it up like that.
So now Pat Listash, who was the bench coach last year. Dal Swain's coming out. He was going to bring in Dolis, the right-hander.
Yeah.
Make a double switch. Looks like that's what they're going to do. So we'll see what the double switch will be part of. Dolis has been in 3 games now, counting this one. Hard throwing right-hander. Darwin Barney is going to come in to take over at second base for Blake DeWitt. So we've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils and the Cubs even at 4. Phillies have the go-ahead run over at first. something from before. We mentioned the most RBIs in the decade of the 60s that Ron Santo was second to Hammer and Hank. Well, we were incorrect with that.
Yeah.
Harmon Killebrew second, Frank Robinson third, Willie Mays fourth.
That's why I asked about where was Mays.
Well, he was fourth.
Yeah, it just.
We're still not going to give you the bell.
But no, I got it wrong. But he's still a ways from Mays.
He is.
Yeah.
So we apologize for that.
Yeah, but get it right, and that's good job.
Darwood Barney, part of a double switch on for the Cubs. Rafael Dolis is on the hill.
My guy wasn't in there anyway, Ernie Banks.
No. Jimmy Rollins get a chance to bat left-handed. Pierre still at first. Obviously a threat to run.
Well, this is a time to go, too, with 2 outs. If you could, they would obviously like to see him make it here. Oh.
Well, O'Hara is having a workout.
Yeah, he's doing a great job over there digging them out. He has saved them a couple times in this inning. That's a tough one right there. A little short hop.
It'd be nice if one of them got away from him.
Yeah.
Pitch out. The Cubs thought it was going to happen here.
He jumped out kind of fast, and it looked like Dolis sped everything up. And Pierre, who is a great base stealer, has been throughout his career. He saw that and he stopped.
Well, that ball had some movement at the end, down and away at 93 miles an hour, a fastball.
This looked like a two-seam or a sinker.
Jamie Quirk throwing down the signs for the Cubs. Phillies do not have a win in their final at bat yet. Be a nice night to put a win in that column.
Guy's doing a good job of keeping him close. That was a really good move. That can really shorten up a lead.
Now 1-2 to Rollins.
Good time to go now. Even you get thrown out, Rollins starts out with a new count. Next inning, in the bottom or the ninth inning, he may throw a breaking ball here to strike him out. It would bounce. Could bounce. Well, that's what they're thinking too. That's why they gave him a throw over. They're thinking Pierre's going to maybe run because Pierre's so smart out there. He thinks of every potential. He just can't run the way that he used to, but he thinks of every situation. And that comes from the bench too. That's just a step off. They'll give that to the catcher and he'll give it to the pitcher. He'll step off. Another way to hold him on.
Tied for 25th all time in stolen bases. The 1-ball 2-strike count to Rollins. Fouls it away to stay alive. Got 94 and just got a piece of it to send it into the seats.
He didn't go and he threw him a fastball. That's what we're talking about. You just think with 2 strikes they're going to throw a breaking ball and bounce it up there for a strikeout, And what a play Soto made, and he wasn't going. Even with that play, it would have been tough to throw him out.
Giovanni Soto's asking Jamie Quirk to go through the signs again. Quirk, a former catcher. The bench coach for Dal Swaim. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. A throw over. It does tire you out, doesn't it?
Sure. I think they're doing a tremendous job with the throw. You know, the crowd's booing, and they're you know, they don't like it, and it's understandable. But for the Cubs, what they're trying to do here is to keep him away from second base.
There he goes. Line drive. Base hit it to right field. Pierre's going to go to third. First and third with 2 outs. Second hit of the night for Rollins. It's been a while since he's had a 2-hit night. And Placido Polanco is the hitter with the go-ahead run over at third.
And Jimmy got a fastball. See, they kept the second baseman home, covered with a shortstop, just over Barney's head.
So now a base hit will give the Phils the lead again. Polanco is 1 for 4. Struck out, singled in the second, grounded out, fly to center.
Guy could bounce one too. Pierre taking a good walking lead off third, make sure everything's headed, all your momentum's headed towards home plate when the pitch is delivered. Look.
Chris Bosio must have seen something because he's heading out.
Well, I think they're going to talk about right now if Rollins were to break, what they want to do. Whether they would even think about throwing through and risk the chance of a double steal with Pierre scoring on the play.
As if he's asking Soto what he thinks. Do you think he can get him?
Well, you know, this is pretty sure that's what they're discussing right now. You know, with 2 guys that can run, 2 outs, home team in the 8th inning, you have to keep that in mind that if Rollins were to go, what are we going to do?
Tonight on Sports Night, get the latest news of the Phils, plus a breakdown of the Flyers' face-off against the Devils in round 2, and a preview of the Sixers-Bulls Game 2 playoff matchup. All the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night after the ballgame on Comcast Sportsnet.
Those infielders are so far back. Look how far back they are. If he were to go, only guy could even get there is Barney, and that's unlikely. So they're not going to throw.
Rollins doesn't go. The pitch outside. It's 2-0.
Yeah, they have put the infielders all the way back like that. They're just trying to prevent a ball from getting through and being able to throw, and then throw Polanco out at first. It's a good play by the Cubs right there, because they're thinking, well, we're showing Rollins he can go. Maybe he's going to go early. They're doing a real good job with trying to control the running game in this inning.
goes. Pitches line toward left field. Soriano's not going to get it. Pierre will score. Here comes J-Roll. Rounding third, heading for home. It's a 2-run double for Polanco. And the Phillies retake the lead. How about Placido Polanco? He ripped that ball to the fence and left. And with Rollins running, it was easy pickings for the second run of the inning.
Yeah, that's a great job by the Phillies there. You know, they run. He gets behind in the count, throws a strike, and Polanco pulls it. They were playing him in the alley. They really don't think he's going to pull the ball off a guy this hard, throwing this hard. So they had Soriano way over in the gap at left center. And when he pulled the ball, there's no way he can get to it.
Now Victorino hits it hard right to the second baseman, Barney. The inning is over, but the Phillies have cashed in. With 2 outs, they got a hit by Rollins to move Pierre to third, and then a double by Polanco to score 2. On to the 9th, and it's time for Jonathan Papelbon to close it out. Atlanta on a high note, and they'll turn the ball over to Jonathan Papelbon. It's a 6-4 game. Papelbon, 10th ball game, no wins, no losses, an earned run average of 1. He has 7 saves and 7 opportunities. And he's got a little wiggle room as he faces Giovanni Soto to begin the inning. Then Darwin Barney in the top of the order for the Cubs. We'll lay it out here for you. The Marlins have lost. They're in the basement in the East. The Braves, who were tied with the Nationals, are trailing in the top of the 9th inning. Nationals have the night off. The Mets, meanwhile, are trailing the Astros in the 6th inning. So if Phillies can win here tonight, they'll move up in the division. And then they have games against the division after this one's over. Most games into the season without a win by a Phillies reliever since 1997. Chad Qualls, although he allowed the 2 runs and the one inherited runner to score, well, he could pick up that first bullpen win.
Ricky Bottalico in game 34. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess it goes back to what we were talking about before. The Phillies have not had a victory in their final at bat.
We brought that up, and it's sitting here right now.
Giovanni Soto to lead it off for the Cubs. Strike to start him off at 93. Of Papelbon's saves this year, 4 of the 7, he's come into the game with a 3-run lead. He's been able to close it out without a problem. Almost had him fishing. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Soto, Barney, DeJesus. ball, and it's 1-2. By the way, speaking of closers, Brad Lidge was in Philadelphia today. Turns out Lidge will have hernia surgery tomorrow. So his season is at least on hold for the time being. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Giovanni Soto.
Hey, a lot of guys come to this city for that surgery.
Yeah. Ruiz sets up outside. Ball was inside. 2-2. Tomorrow it's Cole Hamels to begin the series against the Braves, to begin the road trip.
Don't want to walk the leadoff man.
Ball 4. So the leadoff batter is aboard. And Darwin Barty will be the hitter. A reminder that coming up after this ball game, it's Phillies Post Game Live. It's presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Marshall Harris, Ricky Vitalico, they are waiting in the wings. Get expert analysis, highlights from this game. Again, it's Phillies Post Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Holding the runner on. First pitch to Barney is in there for a strike.
Got to go on the line now, too. There you see where Polanco is.
Soto will hold up. The ball fouled. It's 0-2. Even if he's not being held on, he's not the quickest cat.
Right,
so
that's why they're not holding him on.
They could still easily throw him out if he decides to go.
Yeah, and he's not going to go anywhere down by 2 runs, and they know that, as you said, Tom, he's not fast, so you don't have to hold him on, and that way you can take more of the ground away in the hole. Figuring Barney's more likely to hit it there than down the first base line.
Some high cheese, and he fouled it back. It remains 0-2. Barney came out as part of a double switch in the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order is due up after him. David DeJesus is in the on-deck circle. The 0-2. Fouled it again. Cinco Ocho is very deliberate out on the mound. He has got a serious face.
Well, he's in a serious little spot right now.
Sure is. One he's been in many times before.
Yep.
In the dirt, Ruiz keeps it around him, then kicks it away. Soto's caught between first and second, and he goes back to first. Playing it conservatively.
Oh, yeah. Soto's down there thinking, I can make this, but if I don't want to go back to that dugout. That's what he's telling Dave McKay right here. You know, I'm a catcher. I know where that went. I know what's going on. I saw him kick it away, but I'm not that fast. And he could have thrown me out.
At either base.
Right. And how would Dale Swain have felt about that? Not good. That's a break for the Phillies, too, because it keeps the double play in order.
Got him way out in front behind the mound. Galvis and Polanco, and Pauly makes the call. He makes a very casual grab.
Yeah, he didn't know where Galvis was right then.
Had it all the way, Wheels.
I like that slider from Jonathan Papelbon. You know what? He'll throw it once in a while to a right-handed hitter. He's mostly fastball split. That's a really good pitch, I think. There's Polanco. See, right there, he's not sure where Galvis is. See him take a little peek right there at the end? Like, man, I didn't know where you were.
Guess he figured if he dropped, he at least had to force it second.
Right, exactly. And he certainly didn't want to get his bell rung there.
It's a big bell.
Yeah.
David DeJesus had to hit his first time up down the left field line. Mayberry has got this one. 2 outs. So we talked about before, DeJesus not waiting, going right after the first strike he saw.
Swings early. That was a big at bat last time he was up. They wound up tying the game anyway. But...
well, it's down to the final out. The Phillies try to even up this homestand at 2 wins and 2 losses. Not only that, they've gained at least a half a game on the Washington Nationals in the division.
Well, this guy will do everything possible to get on base. You would think he'll take a pitch. They got to keep the corners up on him.
45,397.
You got a gimme strike here on the first pitch. Oh, he did swing.
0-1 the count.
Good 94 fastball though, and you know, tough for him to put that in play.
Well, if he would have put it in play, it may have gone to the left side the way he swung.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not going to pull that kind of pitch. Defense plays him that way too.
The first base line foul is the splitter, and it's 0-2. This is the loudest the ballpark's been in a while. It's kind of a carryover from Polanco's 2-run double.
Kind of neat, you know. It's been a good game tonight. It's kept the crowd. You know, they might have left early if it had been 4-0, but unfortunately it got tied up 4-4. But now it got really dramatic, and the fans are up on their feet with 2 strikes. The way we've seen it so many times the last few years. It's kind of a neat sight. See that again.
Papelbon tied for second in the league in saves, trying to put himself at a tie for first in the National League. It's no balls and 2 strikes to Tony Campana.
Moving way up in the box.
Soto takes off. And a called strike 3 right down the chute. Campana goes down looking, and the Phillies have won it 6-4 tonight with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And they'll go off on this road trip on a good note as they have defeated the Cubs. They've won 2 and they've lost 2 on this homestand. Placido Polanco, our Chevrolet player of the game, a 2-run double, and it was a whopper of a hit. Phillies with 2 outs. Had Pierre aboard. Rollins got a hit to move him to third. And then Polanco, who hasn't pulled many baseballs this year, pulled one to left field. He's 11 for his last 33, and number 11 was a big one. Jonathan Papelbon came on to close it out, his 8th save of the year. He's tied with Craig Kimbrell for the league lead in saves. And here it is.
Well, I mentioned he moved way up in the box. I think he thought he was going to get a split, and he's going to get up there to try and spoil it or hit it somewhere. And Jonathan comes with a good fastball and just absolutely frozen.
So there's the final out. The Phils win it 6-4. Celebration by Cinco Ocho. This on the heels of Placido Polanco's 2-run double. He's down on the field with Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. The Phils bang out 11 hits, but none bigger than yours in the 8th inning. Take us through that at bat with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Well, I know I faced him the other day. I know he has a very good sinker, so I was trying to lay off anything else, and I had it in my mind. Just you know, I had to make it be up a little bit and give myself a chance, and I got it. You know, he threw me 2 balls. first, and then he threw me the one I wanted.
You know, this is the first win for the Phils this year with your last at bat. Obviously, always good to get a win regardless, but nice to know that you get it in your final at bat this time.
Well, what can I tell you? You know, we're all like, battling and fighting, everybody in the clubhouse. And nobody said this was going to be easy. So it's been a little bit rough for us. But you know what? Wins like this sometimes helps you to turn everything around and to get the offense and everything going.
All right, Paulie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Placido Polanco coming through offensively and defensively, and then Cinco Ocho gets the strikeout on the fastball. 94 the gun, save number 8. Phils win at 6-4. We'll be back right after this.